Hello everybody and welcome to Osana Reimu remake bonus. Here I'll share some details from my development of the 1K special that I found interesting and stuff that I cut from the video. Still, thank you all for helping me reach this goal and giving me an opportunity to talk about Osana Reimu. Because have I told you all enough how much I like this doji? Let's start with what made me decide to go with a remake. I for the longest time visioned what the 1K could be, a time travel spoof. I will go back in time to talk with my original avatar about some random shit like Anne or something about TF2 or Ratchet and Clank. My younger self would have the original mic quality to distinguish from the older one. But then I talked about it more. It was literally going to be a 5 to 10 minute video where I just talked to myself with a shitty mic. And thought it was not going to be fun, so I talked to myself, what will be perfect for the 1K special? And then I decided to take a look at the original recap and oh man, I wasn't a fan of it. The mic quality, the source filmmaker and the script you screamed dated. And then I thought that if I announce I would remake the video if I reach 1K subs, it will make people interested. And so I did, and while it didn't really have the effect I was hoping for, with the help of TF2 videos I reached it. Of course the original plan got to be its own video later on because I had 4 good reasons for making it, if you catch my drift. And before I even started making the 1K special, I had a choice. Make the quite smaller FF2 video now or after the remake. And so I decided to get TF2 out of the way first. A few things that I had in my mind when making it was this. It will be a special video, so it will be in one big package. I will work mostly alone because I wanted to complete artistic freedom and avoid the same kind of difficulties Freak Photos 2 brought. Get a special thumbnail so it looks more appealing and I don't have to borrow other artists' works. And finally, get it done in my own time. Take as long as I need to produce it. Let's start with the script and recording. While editing FF2, I started writing the script. It took me 2 weeks to finish the script because it was like 20 pages long. And I felt proud because it was the longest thing I've ever written. I was kinda dreading to polish the script because how long it was and I wanted to put Spud, the guy who has been rewriting my script, to do his magic on it. But due to him having school and wanting to focus on his personal life, he didn't have time for it. So I cleaned it as much I could. Obviously me not speaking English as a first language meant that it was not going to be perfect, but it was so much better than the original one at least. And after that started the most excruciating voice recording. I already hate recording my voice for smaller projects, so having to record 20 pages worth of script was going to suck a lot. Like 200 stutterings and too many cups of coffee later, it was done. I'm not joking by the way, I drank like 8 cups of coffee in the span of 2 hours to get through the final pages. I don't recommend you doing the same, because you might feel bursts of energy at first, then you feel like you're about to get a heart attack. To make sure my channel will not die out for some months, I decided to start multitasking. I made 2 other videos while editing this, and while it did work at first, I then got myself a full-time job. And I had to scrap this plan because it meant that I basically don't have time to edit much. And because I promised my brother that soldier video, I wanted to get it out first before the remake. And after that was done, I swear for like 2 weeks, all I did was wake up at like 7 AM, edit the video before work, get home, eat a little bit and edit. I was literally crunching to get this done before summer because I also wanted to work on less heavy stuff. Now let's look at the video itself. I watched the original video and saw some stuff that I like, so I put them over here. Like the introduction to episode 1 and no friends bit. And of course, not literally copy every good part from the OG, I made sure include plenty of new stuff like the coffee with Reimu, explaining about the characters and going more in depth with the episodes. I have been planning to learn some GMod stop motion, but I never really got the time or motivation to do it. But wanting to do the ending part, I finally had to learn animating. It was a bit confusing at first, but it was quite easy to get hang of. The photo bit was my first ever proper animation. While basic, it served what I wanted it to look like. I did the earlier parts with my old skillset and they were poor quality, so I spent some time remaking them. Here are the comparisons of what they used to look like. Then Dimaju, the guy who did GMod parts for the FF2 video, came and asked can he be part of it. I said yeah, and he did parts again with this style. Well, they were good. My friends who have samples of the process said the solid switch between quality is jarring, so I decided to leave them here. But I did reward him with a signed jack and key, so he won't be discouraged from continuing with animation. Man, isn't it great to have friends? And then I broke a milestone. Previously, the original Osana video was my longest video ever done, 35 minutes. Only Rift Apart was close to its length, being 30 minutes. I knew this would be a long project, but they expect it to reach nearly an hour mark, and it would have been longer if I didn't cut some lines or sorted certain clips. Like when I got to the 7A talk part, I was going to talk about how I needed to take breaks from Friday Disc by completing some grinds on RuneScape like pest control and a Slayer task. But I thought it was kinda dumb to just talk more about RuneScape on an Osana video, so I left them out. I originally forgot to record lines for the missing bow tie, and I just thought I would just use clips from the dodging itself. But I thought it will slow down the pace of the video too much, and so I drank another 4 cups of coffee and recorded them. I then planned to explain about forbidden symptoms, but man, the dosing does a stellar job of exposition, so if it ain't broke, don't fix it. When I was about to get the video done and to get it polished, I decided to cut it into chunks to speed up the process. At first it worked, because I could render like the 3rd episode and watch what needs to be changed and what didn't. But when I tried to render it individually, I swear I just wasted time and made things harder. I'm feeling the crunch with nearly an hour long video. I wanted to work on something shorter and light-hearted, the Trash Mania. For that video I took a picture of Trash Snapper using HitFilm's 4Express color tool. And when I returned to the video, I saw this bizarre thing. By accident I overwrote the photo file with the snapper, which really broke some dread on me because the photo was a pain in the ass to make and I thought the original clip was just perfect and will not be able to recreate it. But luckily I shared my ending with Dimaju to show him my first animation, which luckily saved me a lot of time and headache. And then the music part. I originally planned it to be used this one image with text displayed on the side, but I always knew it would be too fun to watch and listen to it. So I tried using some Source Filmmaker pictures from the previous videos, but they didn't work and cut them out. I ignored this part until the first announcement when I finally just admitted it needed changing and delayed the video until Sunday. I made an excuse that it was rendering error which caused it, but I was kinda afraid to cause disappointment among the few people who were waiting for it. Oh, and I got Content ID claim from List Triangle, which I am not bothered by, because even if I start making money someday, this video is a celebration of my milestone, so not getting money from it doesn't hurt. But this one did cause pain. I did write the subtitles for the first video, which was originally 54 minutes and 51 seconds, which was just excruciating. I was about to go insane by how dull it was, and what kept my remaining brain cells I had left safe was by listening to this track. But because I am a dumbass who suffers from OCD, I wanted to round it up to 55 minutes. And so I did by extending the music clips a bit. And this fucked up the subtitle timing. Everything past the second talks was just fucked. And not feeling like delaying this thing any further, I decided to just release it without the subtitles and add them later. I offered Spoot $20 worth of Overwatch coins if he fixed this problem. He only did the 4th episode due to how late it was for him, and he sent me the file with fixed timings, and because of it I gave him $10 for it. And the file didn't work, so I talked about blowing my brains out, but knew that if I do that now I won't be able to enjoy Reimu's cute smile anymore, so I did them without going too insane like last time. I could just go on forever telling what many little things I had to do and troubles I had, but I just want to tell you that this was my favorite project for do for a long time. Making 5-minute videos about TF2 weapons doesn't let me do anything cool, and they're not as fun to make because how basic the whole topics are. I just love my time with this. I just could not wait to get out of work to continue on with them, to share my experience with others. I love to share little details and teasers for the video, and whenever people reacted to them, it made me more motivated to go on, to make a movie experience as good as it can be. I just can't express how much this dosing means to me. No matter how many videos I make on this series, I still feel like there's something to talk about them, and that brings me to the ReiReimu. I am not closing the possibility of me remaking the ReiReimu recap series, because I feel like there's always something I can do better on. I won't do them now, writing about Osana is pretty difficult to begin with and they do take a long time to make. And I kinda feel like they should be done in a celebration of something, like another subscriber milestone. Maybe not for 2K, but for something else. But for now, I'm closing this chapter for my channel's history. It started with Osana Reimu and it now ends with it. I just want to thank you all for being there for me. I just can't express how grateful I am to have people that actually like what I produce. I started 5 years ago as an amateur making shitty memes, and looking where I am now makes me chuckle a little bit how much things have changed. So again, thank you all for watching and getting me this far. I finally made sure to drink coffee in moderation so I can get good sleep. Good night everyone.